Is it true that the Marines are thrown into the ocean at some point during their boot camp? Not exactly, but I found out the hard way what actually happens during water survival training at Paris Island. Week 10 of boot camp, they marched us to this massive pool complex. Our drill instructor, Sergeant Knox, announced we'd be doing combat water survival, and that anyone who couldn't swim would learn real quick or drown trying. I'd been lying about knowing how to swim since day one. Growing up in Arizona, the closest thing to water I'd seen was a garden hose, but admitting weakness in Marine boot camp is like painting a target on your back. Knox had this sadistic grin as he explained the exercise. You maggots will experience what it's like when your transport ship gets blown up and you're floating in hostile waters. They lined us up at the deep end wearing full combat gear, boots, uniform, helmet, the works. Knox explained we'd jump in, swim 25 meters, then tread water for 10 minutes while staying in formation. This simulates falling off a ship in combat, he screamed. Marines don't drown, they adapt. If you panic, you die. If you quit, you die. If you embarrass me, you wish you were dead. The guy next to me, Private Wilson, whispered, "Dude, can you actually swim?" I nodded confidently while my stomach did backflips. I figured I'd just wing it and hope for the best. When Knox pointed at me, I jumped in like I knew what I was doing. The moment I hit the water, I sank like a brick. The combat gear felt like it weighed 200 pounds, and the water rushed into my boots immediately. I panicked and started flailing around like a drowning cat. Wilson later said it looked like I was fighting an invisible enemy underwater. My arms were windmilling, my legs were kicking in every direction, and I was somehow moving backward. 3 drill instructors dove in to save me. When they dragged me out sputtering and coughing up half the pool, Knox was furious. "Recruit, did you just lie to the United States Marine Corps about your swimming ability?" "Sir, no sir. I'm just a really bad swimmer, sir." That's when Knox did something unexpected. He started laughing. "Son, that was the most honest thing any recruit has said in 10 weeks. At least you're honest about being pathetic." Turns out half the platoon couldn't swim either. They spent the next 2 weeks teaching us properly instead of just throwing us in. Knox even admitted he nearly drowned his first time, too. The funniest part was discovering that Private Johnson, who'd been bragging about being on his high school swim team, also sank like a rock. Turns out he'd been the team manager, not an actual swimmer. Knox made him do extra laps as punishment for lying. During our intensive swim training, Knox paired all the non-swimmers with Marines who actually knew what they were doing. My swim buddy was Corporal Hayes, who grew up surfing in California. Hayes spent hours teaching me basic strokes and how to float with gear on. The real test came 2 weeks later when we had to jump from a 10-foot platform into the pool wearing full gear. This time, I didn't panic. I hit the water, sank briefly, then kicked to the surface and started swimming. Knox was actually proud. "Look at that," he yelled to the other recruits. "The desert rat learned to swim. If this landlubber can do it, you maggots have no excuse." By graduation, I could swim 500 meters in full gear. Knox made sure of that. He even gave me a certificate that said Desert Rat to Water Dog with a cartoon drawing of a cactus wearing swim fins. Knox pulled me aside later and said, "Honesty might not make you a hero, but it'll keep you alive." Sometimes admitting you're drowning is the first step to learning how to swim.